Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I guess you can call it a podcast. You guys, we're here today to talk about Married to Medicine. It was pretty good. Y'all know we're not going to talk about the whole entire thing. We just going to talk about the stuff that matters. But first, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We would love to have you be part of the beautiful people family. Plus, I need subscribers. And it's literally free. Like, all you got to do is click the button. Huge deal to me. Does wonders. No, shit, I'm all over the place. Like the video, that does wonders for my algorithm, analytics, all that stuff or whatever. But I do need subscribers, so subscribe, please. Thanks. All right, let's get into Married to Medicine. So I'm gonna start off from when we get on the boat. Okay, we get on the boat. Well, no. First, let's start off with Quad and this conversation she's having with her man, King, and we're talking about what happened last night. She's saying it like she don't really remember a whole lot. Oh, what made him so mad? What was he mad about? Girl, you you were running your mouth. Now I do believe she was drunk. Quad was nice, very very nice. So I don't know if she don't remember at all, but I don't know. I just didn't like the fact that she's telling her man, oh, he was sitting there, he was mad, like he not over me or something, huh? And her man is just sitting there looking at her like, bitch. No, he didn't look at her like that. But I was, because it's like you're talking to your new man. Why are you talking to your new man about your ex and he still wants you and all that? Like, it just wasn't cool. It wasn't cute. And I don't know what's up with King letting all this shit fly, but wouldn't be mine, honestly. So now we're going to pick up from when we get on the boat. All right, so we get on this boat. Everybody's on there, even uh, Quad and Dr. Greg and all that stuff or whatever. You know, everybody is being cordial. Well, they're not speaking to each other, but they're not arguing. I'll just say it like that. Then we're on the boat and we're waiting for somebody. They're like, who are we waiting for? Who are we waiting for? And we're waiting for Apollo. Now, when they find out Apollo is coming, it's like, who invited Apollo? Excuse me. They even ask Phaedra, who invited Apollo? She's like, I don't know. But then we get a flashback to Dr. Heavenly talking to Phaedra on the phone and telling her, I think I'm going to invite Apollo because I want the other couples to see how you guys are able to co-parent and get along after divorce. Bullshit, but okay. And Phaedra is just like, oh yeah, I don't care. That's fine. That's cool. That's cool. Like everything's good. Everything's good. Remember that. Everything's good. So Phaedra ends up bringing the tall guy, the tall young guy that she met speed dating. You guys, let's talk about this in their relationship and the fact that everybody is saying that she rented him and it's not real or whatever. I don't know that it's real. I don't think they're probably not in a real relationship. The way they were all over each other, though, I do believe he hit it. I do, because you just don't fake that. Like, she's sitting all over his lap. They're hugged up. They're hugged up like new people, for real, and people that are getting it in. So whether they knew each other, I think they knew each other beforehand too, because how does he just all of a sudden come to this speed dating thing? Like, how's he invited? He just so happens to, we find out later on he's a friend of Apollo's. We get a flashback to the dating scene where he tells her that he knows Apollo. And he's like, is that a big deal? She's like, I don't care. He's married. And that was that from what we saw. Come to find out, once Apollo gets there, Apollo says that they're really good friends. That's my boy, and I'm with him every week. So you would think that Phaedra would know that. We don't know. I don't know if they're playing us. All four of them. I don't think Shireen would be too in on it because I really do believe her and Phaedra don't get along. But like the three of them, Apollo, Phaedra, and this guy, it would not be above them to, cook up some shit just for drama, just to get checks and be on the show. But whatever it is, the guy's there. Then Apollo walks up with his wife. What's her name? Shireen. And there's that. So, the girl Shireen ends up calling Phaedra Fei, and Phaedra's like, that's not my name. And I don't blame her, because no, we know what goes along with Fei. It's shady Fei. And bitch, you're not about to call me no shady Fei in my face. It's gonna go down. Even though that girl looks like she would she would smash Well, Phaedra, she ain't little like that, but she don't look like she can really fight. I don't know. I mean, I hate to talk about grown-ups fighting like that, but the girl, Shireen, looked like she can get it in. Like, she looked like she beat her ass. But I would still try to check her and just get my ass beat, but I'm gonna still try to check her because you're not about to call me Shady Faye Faye. Even though she didn't say the shady part, we know what it means, we know what it is. So there's that. So they make it to the sandbar, and the ladies are in the water. They're just chilling out. The men are sitting around. Most of them are standing up. The guy, Dr. Steve or whatever, he comes over and he asks Apollo, "Yeah, how do you know the group?" Apollo's like, "Yeah, I know this guy here, and I know this guy here, and I even met this guy a little bit." And Dr. Jackie's husband, what's his name, Curtis, is in the confessional. Like, listen, you you want to go around it, the fact that you were married to Phaedra, but everything is out in the open here. Like, there's no secrets here. Why wouldn't he just say, "I was married to Phaedra"? He's like, "Yeah, I've been around for years." Yeah, because you were married to Phaedra, but he refused to say that. So for whatever reason, okay. But the Dr. Steve guy was very nice. So we find out that he used to play, well, Dr. Heavenly's husband, Dr. Damon, was like, "Yeah, he used to play professional football." So they talk about that or whatever, and they start having a pissing contest. Oh, who can do this? Who can run? We can, have all kind of contests. And then they talk about doing 25 push-ups and 24 or 25, some random ass number. I think it was 24. And what's his name? With the voice. "Hey guys, I could do 24 push-ups. That's nothing. What, you want me to do 24 push-ups with Apollo here? I'm gonna do 24 push-ups." What's his name? Dr. G. Greg. So he starts doing these push-ups in the sand, and he's like, what's her name? Letitia, like, just weird as shit. It was weird. So in the confessional, the Dr. Steve guy was like, "Hey, whatever motivates you." And he's like, "Just next time, try not to make it so awkward." Like, the shit was awkward. So then they're sitting around, and Eugene tells King, "Welcome to the group, and thank you for coming in, being positive, and you're not really starting no shit or whatever. You just keeping it real positive, and we appreciate that." He's like, "Thanks for welcoming me in, everybody." And Dr. G, "Well, I ain't really welcome you in because you were my ex-wife and she was just running her mouth, and we got a history, but I wasn't really welcoming, but I ain't got nothing against you, so ain't nothing against you." And he's like, "Okay, okay, that's fine." And he's like, "I'm just saying, she just talked too much, so I had to tell her, you just talk too much." And everybody was just like, stopped. And they looking around like, fuck. So all the men are in the confessional like, "Oh, Greg, just be quiet. Like, why are you saying that? Why are you saying that?" So King is like, "Hold on, wait, what? You told her what? You said that to her?" And I'm like, "Motherfucker, where were you? You were sitting right next to her." But okay, we're gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. They were drinking, so maybe he was there, but he wasn't there. I don't know. But he sounded like he was nowhere on the beach last night. "You said what?" And he's like, "Oh, I didn't hear that." And Dr. Greg was like, "Oh, okay, well, that's good." No, it's not good. Because then Dr. Contessa's husband, trying to think of what his name is. I can't remember. But y'all, Dr. Contessa's on here a lot. Contessa, to only be a friend of the show, she's on here a lot. But whatever. But her husband was like, "Hey, y'all need to let the sun set on everything that happened, yesterday." And he was just like, King was like, "Nah, I don't think so." And then we go to commercial. We're gonna come back, and he's gonna say that Quad needs she needs an apology. And I'm like, first of all, I wouldn't even want an apology from my ex. Like, I don't want nothing from my ex. I don't need an apology. Why? What is that gonna do? Seriously. So in this moment, Dr. Gregory says he thinks that there's a little bit, to go on both parts. And Dr. Eugene tries to jump in. He's like, "Listen, I would just say," and then he's like stumbling around. He's like, I don't know what to say. Like, he didn't know what to say. He was just trying to stop them. But uh, nope, he's not a doctor. Dr. Simone's husband. So he says, listen, Quad got a little upset. She got a little emotional. King says, yeah, because she got trauma. There's trauma there. So you guys, I want you guys to understand that King is her man, and you normally talk to your new man. You tell him about the ex, you tell him about, everything that happened. And we already know what Quad has said, that he was abusive, allegedly per her, that Dr. G was abusive to her. So this is stuff that she's told to King. And we're going to get to something else that Dr. Heavenly said later, but keep that in mind because this is what's going on in King's mind. Now that he's right now in his right mind, he's not drunk or anything. He's seeing everything as it is. So Dr. Greg jumps up, this little shit jumps up and goes to his face and says, well, you know what, man? I didn't know, that I could talk to you or whatever. Because he's like, I don't appreciate you saying that. I got a problem with it. He's like, well, next time I'll just talk to you. And he goes, okay, that's cool. But as long as you know that he's like, I didn't know you was going to stand up for her. But, if you going to stand up for it, then cool, I'll talk to you. And he goes to sit down and he was feeling real good about himself. He smoking his little cigar, and King is just sitting there like, okay, but you could tell it wasn't done. Like you could tell he wasn't over it. All right, so now we have, like I said, the ladies are in the water, and we have what's his name, Shrek? They were calling him like Shaq or Shake, whatever his name is, the big guy, coming over to the water, and he's like dancing in the middle of them, and I'm thinking, why? Why are you the only man coming over here dancing in the middle of them? But I guess it's for the scene. So they ask him about, how he knows Shireen, and he's like, none of your business. And Toya's doing all this asking, and she's like, do you go to their house for holidays? And he's like, why are you asking? Why do you care? Because Shireen ends up telling them that he's for the streets. So we've come to find out from Dr. Heavenly's channel. Dr. Heavenly said that he tried to talk to Shireen's sister or whatever before. So I guess he does know, her family or whatever. But then Phaedra comes over and Apollo comes over, and they end up getting into it where, Apollo's like, yeah, he didn't tell me, or he told me that he met her, but not that he was still dating her. Like, it was just a big old thing about them and not knowing. And Phaedra says, Apollo, why do you care? Then Shireen says, he don't care about you. He don't care about you. And she's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, she calls her a bad body bitch. But according to Dr. Heavenly, the girl didn't hear her say that, or else it would have gone down. But they end up walking away, and Apollo is still there, and the girl Shireen is still there. And then, what's her name? Sweet Tea just starts out of nowhere. Like, who invited you guys here? They say Dr. Heavenly. And she's like, why did you invite them here? And this, like, Dr. Heavenly swears that she didn't know that Shireen was coming. She didn't know that the guy was coming and all that. I believe her. I mean, she ain't got no reason to lie. Y'all know she's messy as shit, but she owns it. So if she says she didn't know, she ain't know. And, people were saying, like, if Phaedra knew that Apollo was coming, she only brought the guy, because she knew Apollo was coming. And I don't care. I'll allow it. You guys know, I told you guys, I watched that season of Real Housewives again when she was married to him, like right before they broke up, and Phaedra was scared of him. Now, I'm not saying he did anything, but it looked like she was giving battered woman syndrome, allegedly, to me. The way that he kept her. Remember, they went out of town and she left the key and had to call him back to come and open the door, and she's like sitting in front of the stoop or whatever, because he's like, she's just gonna have to wait. And then he comes back to the door and he's screaming at her and calling her stupid, and like, she was just looking like, I don't want to deal with this. And then another time in the kitchen when she's sitting at the bar, they're having a conversation and she looks terrified. Then when we all joke about the whole go away from me with this Apollo, but that lady looks scared for real. Like, if we just break it down and we look at it today, whereas like years ago, we were all younger and we were all just in it for the shits and giggles. But you look at it today and it looked different. It looked real different. So I'll allow it. She brought a man, because she know this crazy man. Apollo is not even allowed in her house right now, she said. So what does that tell you? Tells you that she, even though maybe they do co-parent well, we don't know, but from out there, like, I'm not trying to be on a trip with you alone. I'm not trying to be anywhere with you alone. And I'm okay with the fact that she brought this guy. But Heavenly and I'm sorry, excuse me. Sweet Tea gets into it. Heavenly starts going on, y'all better get this bitch. And they going back and forth. Sweet Tea is calling her a bad Bill bitch and all that or whatever, even though I ain't even gonna say nothing. But yeah, it was just chaos. Dr. Heavenly is falling in the water, and I'm like, Lord, can we leave the ladies? We're done with them. All right, so wrapping it up, while the girls are over here arguing, the men here, and actually it was Dr. Steve that heard, and he was like, "Oh, hold on," and I like that in him. He was just like, "Hold on, something going on," and he ran over and he's like, "You all right? You all right?" He's like, "Shit, I don't play about mine." So I like it. That's manly. That's manly or whatever. So all the men go over, and Dr. Heavenly, Dr. Damon was like, "That's heavenly." And yeah, he went to go get her, but he wasn't rushing because he already know it's gonna be Dr. Heavenly. 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be Dr. Heavenly. Dr. Contessa comes out. She's like, "Listen, I got this super expensive. I can't remember if she said 3,000 or 5,000. 6,000, I don't know, this camera." And she was like, "So I couldn't do nothing. I'm in the water with this expensive camera." But her abs, did y'all see Dr. Contessa's abs? Sheesh. So the guys come, they get their women. It's fine. Phaedra takes, what's her name? No, Dr. Gregory was trying to calm Sweetie down. And so he's like holding her. And she's like, "No, I'm fine. I'm just ready to go." So, what's his name? No, not Doctor. King comes over and he, right in the middle of everything happening, he says, "Listen, can I talk to him?" Like, Dr. Gregory is trying to calm his wife down. He's all over her back and he looking like a little backpack. Like one of them little furry stuff down them little backpacks, little ass. But he's all over her and he's like, just out of nowhere, "Can I talk to him?" So they're like, "Okay." So he lets her go and she goes with Phaedra and they go walking down the beach or whatever. And, Sweet Tea is like, "I don't want to go far because I don't know what's going to happen with them." Phaedra's like, "Nah, Shaq is here. He's not going to let anything happen." So you see what I mean? Phaedra feels safe with him. Phaedra feels safe with him. They got it in. Number one. Number two, she brought him there because Apollo was coming and he makes her feel safe. She didn't feel like anything would happen to her with him there. So I get it. I get it, Shady Fay Fay. I get it. But so they go walking and for some reason Phaedra is like holding her hands or her arms or whatever. I don't know, it was weird. But they're walking. She's still paying attention to what King and them are saying. So King's over there telling Dr. G, "Listen, I don't appreciate the fact that you spoke out of turn with her or whatever. Next time, don't say shit to her. Next time you got anything to say to her, you talk to me. You talk to me." So they get into this whole thing or whatever. And of course, it blew up where he's just like, "Man, what the fuck you want to do? I ain't gonna do nothing because I'm a doctor. I ain't got time to be fighting nobody. But I figured you was like that because I know how your girl is." And when he said that, he shouldn't have brought Quad up. He said that and he's like walking away or whatever. They're pulling him away. And when I tell you, this man, King, takes off his, what's the name, his shirt and runs top speed over to Dr. Gregory. He's like, "Man, I'll fuck you up." And Shaq or whatever. Thank God this little guy, well, he's not a little guy. He's a super tall guy, but he's a young guy, got in between them and was kind of holding them. But I'm not sure if he got to him or not. I guess we'll find out in the next episode. We do know that Dr. Gregory tried to sue him for, they said, attempted assault. So that sounds like he maybe didn't get at him or, didn't really get to him. I don't know. But it's interesting. And I can't say that I'm mad about, the fact that Dr. Gregory almost got his ass whooped because I feel like he needed. This little motherfucker got a whole lot of mouth. He really does. Dang. I got a potty mouth, y'all. I'm sorry. I really am. I'm sorry. But anyway, he really do have a potty mouth. He do have a potty mouth. He really do have a big mouth. So whatever happens, happens. And I wish he would have got to him, and I wish we could see it. That's all. So yeah, I'll be back for the next episode. I guess it's gonna be good. We see that a lot of people are leaving. We definitely see that Gregory and Sweet Tea leaves. I'm assuming Quad and King leaves. And we'll see what happens. But that is the review. If you have made it this far, you are the real MVP. Go ahead and like the video, please. Comment. Let's talk about it. And subscribe. It's totally free. I mean, it's totally free. So why not? Um, and I will see you guys in the next video. Smooches.